You know what I think? I think you need to watch 2 seasons of 24 before you realize it's not about the NBA shot clock. I think sometimes it's hard to sleep with no one in your bed. It would be even harder to sleep with 100 people in your bed. I think abstinence is the only thing you can practice your whole life and not get any better at it. I think my fear of bugs is inversely proportionate to my proximity to shoes. That's why women have so many pairs. I think African cats may just be 2 hours of Samuel L. Jackson explaining how it's okay if you call them black cats. I think there should be a TV show about Camus and Shamu sharing a Manhattan apartment. I think if you went out with your clone and said you saw a live performance of the Honeymooners, you'd be dating yourself. I think close to the public sign should add that cannot jump this fence. I think I'd hate to get stuck behind Scrooge McDuck in the Coinstar line. I think if James Fry is mad at Oprah for waiting 5 years to apologize, Galileo must be real ticked at the church for waiting 350. I think I knew Big Brown would never get the Triple Crown because he couldn't hit for average. I think I'd hate picturing how veal gestate after I just ate veal. I think that if you work out to deal with your inner demons, it should be called exercising. I think if you say the G in right, you're saying right wrong. I think buying razors at Halloween is stupid. You open the box and it has candy in it. I think the Hulk isn't as green as he says. Can you imagine his carbon footprint? I think if a hypochondriac actually has epilepsy, it's all in his head. I think if a guy wearing an I'm with stupid shirt dies at the same time as the Pope, St. Peter should send the guy to hell. I think James Bond says paper, not plastic, when he's at the grocery store. I think people who say the oldest joke in the book have forgotten that all the jokes were published on the same day. I think koalas ostracize emus for their ostrachize. I think Waldo should go on a walkabout to find himself, and Cloud should go with him just for the experience. I think the rugby team in Alive got full of themselves. I think if The Rock ever stopped working out, he'd be living a sedimentary lifestyle. I was happily surprised with the pilot of Prison Break when it wasn't just Wentworth Miller trying to roll doubles. I think building sandcastles is the most frustrating art form because it's the only one with the problem of a high tide. I think that if people found out electronics were allowed in purgatory, the crime rate would go through the roof. I think, you got something to say to me? Say it to my face! Book wall will quickly become a popular comeback. I think the Egyptian god Ra would make a terrible resident assistant. I think shirts are superior to pants because you don't have to take them off when you put them on backwards. I think my grandma said, every day above ground is a good day, only because she worked in the subway and hated her job. I think tipping the cashier is contingent on whether or not I have pockets. I think that it's a crime that there are 2 What Would You Do shows and neither is sponsored by Klondike bars. I think telling time is hard. By the time I remember there are 60 minutes in an hour, not 100, I'm late. I think once a month, performance of the vagina monologue should be a period piece. That's just what I think.